happening, people? It's Boxing Lowdown and I'm back here with another video. Now, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment on the video. You know, let's get the video out there. We're close to 500 subscribers now. I'd really like to get to 500 as soon as possible so that we could then look at the next milestone of 1,000. But let's talk about boxing, man. That's what we're here for at the end of the day. Now, I received a question on my Instagram and they asked me to speak about it, so I'm going to do so in this video. And if anybody else has any topics that they'd like me to speak about, anything that they'd like me to discuss or talk about, just feel free to drop a comment or leave me a message and I'll happily do that for you. So let me know, man. I'm trying to be as interactive as I can. But the question that I was asked was with regards to the drug testing. Now, last weekend, we were supposed to be seeing Tyrone Spong taking on Alexander Usyk. However, earlier on in the week, Tyrone Spong failed a VADA test. He came back with some positive results and therefore he was withdrawn from the fight. The commission refused to sanction him. So Tyrone Spong was very upset about this. He believed that he'd done nothing wrong. He then went, I don't know if he did his own testing or what, I don't know. But however, he brought back some samples and he's basically saying that, look, this is negative. So like, I've been hard done by here. But the question that I was asked on my Instagram page was, what can we do to eradicate this sort of thing in the sport? Like, how can we eliminate drug testing in boxing? Now, this is a very, it's a very difficult question considering how broad it is. I don't think any of us actually know how much drug testing goes, how much drug use is involved in boxing right now. Like, we're only seeing the results of VADA. I think that it's very good that we are catching these people. It's very good that we are starting to see now, like, some of these people being brought to justice, because that's what we need. We need to see those people that are cheating being caught out to act as a deterrent for those that may want to do it in the future. But is the deterrent that we're using currently strong enough? I'm not sure, man, because look at the whole Dillian Whyte situation, for example. Now, I'm not coming out here and saying that he's guilty, but we haven't heard anything with regards to, his B sample or his testing. We've only heard that he suffered an adverse finding prior to his fight with Oscar Rivas. That was then went over to the British Border Boxing Control. They then ruled that Dillian Whyte was able to fight. However, we haven't heard anything else since. We haven't heard no information with regards to the drug testing. We don't know what's going on with Dillian Whyte at the moment. He's actually come out and said that he's going to be fighting in December. So all we've been told, like in the interviews, and I've interviewed Dean White and Arsen myself, but all we've been told literally is that, we're expecting news soon and Dillian Whyte they're currently fighting it with his lawyers, but we don't know anything. So is the deterrence out there in boxing strong enough right now to prevent this drug testing this drug use from being taken? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think that these guys are being handled a strong enough deterrent, because let's see what the bans are. The bans in boxing right now, Jarrell Miller, he got caught taking a number of drugs prior to his fight against Anthony Joshua. He was not sanctioned by any of the New York State Athletic Commission, but we don't know. He could still fight under particular states in America. So just because he hasn't been sanctioned by New York, he could go somewhere like Texas maybe, and he could possibly get a license. It's not, clear across the whole board. In America, they do different licensing in different states. It's not one whole commission like we do over here in the UK. But it's very, I don't know, it's been carrying on and it's going to continue to carry on, unfortunately. And I think the only way that we could really get on our way to eliminating this from boxing is to start handing out lifetime bans. I think that's the only way we can really get some of this drug use out of boxing, because it's been going on for years and people are getting caught. They'll be banned for 6 months. They'll say that they didn't intend to do it. They'll say that they've been set up. They'll have all sorts of excuses ready. Over the amount of time, time will pass, people will tend to forget and forgive, and then they can come back in the ring, beat somebody that they didn't want them to that they don't like, and then all of a sudden this guy's back in the limelight again. So look at the amount of people that have failed drugs testing over the years. We've got Canelo. He failed a drugs test against Triple G last year. He's out here fighting this year. He's still one of the biggest names in boxing. We've got Dillian Whyte, suffered an adverse finding a few months ago. He's scheduled to fight in December. We've had Tyson Fury that has, he's tested positive before. He served a 2-year ban, but he's back in the ring and he's going to fight Deontay Wilder next year. So I think the only way we can really get some of this drug testing out of boxing is to really hand out lifetime bans. I think that's the only way. But again, it's always going to be a bit sticky, because there's always going to be some sort of story. Did the person knowingly take the drugs? Was it, in the supplements? We don't actually, it's very hard to measure very hard to measure. So if not a lifetime ban, if we're able to prove that this person knowingly used the steroids or any sort of, performance enhancing drugs, then we can hand out some serious long-term bans, like 6-7 years, something that will take up the majority of their prime of their career or something. But I think right now it's very difficult, man. I do think that it is positive that we are catching these guys out. It is a good thing. Like, we should applaud the VADA testing that's going on right now. And we should all, I think that there are places where you can donate and support or follow or even retweet. I think we should all show our support in some way to these drug testing companies and ensure that more people are getting tested so we can catch more of these people out. I think that it is good for boxing, even though it is very frustrating where we could have a fight lined up and somebody could get caught taking drugs by cheating. So yeah, that's my opinion on it, but I'm going to open out the floor to you guys and, get your thoughts on it. What do you guys think? How do we eradicate this problem in boxing? If we are to ever eradicate it, what can we do? Because the only thing I can think of right now is to start handing out some serious bans, like lifetime bans, to really get these guys to stop taking them, because they are being used. And let's carry out more rigorous drug testing so we can catch out some of these people that are taking the drugs. And hopefully, if we can do more drug testing and get it more universal around the world, then hopefully we'll be able to catch more of these people out. And then when we do catch them out, I think that's when we need to start imposing some real serious bans. If we can prove beyond doubt that it was knowingly taken. But that's another sticking point that we need to look into as well. How do we prove that somebody has knowingly taken the drugs? Because that there's always going to be an excuse. So let me know your thoughts and opinions about it anyway. That's just mine. I hope I answered that question, to some extent. Looking forward to hearing some of you guys' opinions on it. And, what can we do to eradicate this issue in boxing? Because it is a major issue in boxing. And it's only going to take something serious, with somebody to, lose their life in boxing, God forbid. And for the person to be found out that they were using some sort of drugs that were illegal. That's the only way how we could I can see it really escalating, unfortunately. So hopefully we can maybe, think of some ideas and suggestions to get it out there. But let me know what you guys think anyway. That's just my opinion. I'll catch you guys on the next one.